Hi, my name is Tanner Edwards. My topic is issues that U.S. beef cattle producers struggle with. Um, Beef cattle producers dates back to the 1800s. It has grown into a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and but is a very strong tradition within itself. Beef cattle producers have always struggled, yet they still find ways to increase efficiency and productivity today. Today, I will be discussing a few of the struggles the beef industry has faced over the years. These struggles make the industry so impressive and show us how resilient American ranchers really are. First off is expansion challenges. So, herd expansions, or at least pasture restockings, will most likely slow down but will never stop. Heifer confinement over the last 2 years has produced a large calf crop within the U.S. over, like I said, the last 2 years. This year we have had a large fall calving season, better than we've had in many years, as in 2014 to 2016. This will result in a bigger feed yard placement, assuming cattle feeders continue to place heavier weight feeders and shun away from lighter weight calves. Secondly, the cycle lowering of prices. With herd expansions, we can expect the calf and feeder cattle prices to continue to rise and decrease. I know from my experiences in our ranch, we have seen how the increase of beef retail prices has affected ranching families. The increases has led Americans to consume less beef than ever before. That has been not only affected, our town back home, because it is a beef town. Like, we have our markets in town, and we sell beef there, and it has really hurt the market just in town. Not alone, you can imagine what it has done for America today. This increases has led Americans to consume less beef before. Beef market advisor Harold Hughes suggests the lowest cattle prices will be from 2018 to 2020. Due to the impact in cattle market, more people are beginning to question if the usefulness this makes all types of risk management important for the cattle producers to consider. Thirdly is animal health. Regardless of safe handling practices and increased federal regulations, beef cattle producers will face many challenges in keeping their livestock healthy. There are many illnesses and diseases that are that not only affect the cattle but the ground that they live on. A few years back, my operation was infected with blackleg. This is a serious disease in the cattle that causes lameness, depression, loss of appetite, and causes the animals a great deal of pain. There are a number of reasons for health issues in animals, yet some experts suggest the health issues in the cattle is a result of the industries trying to push too hard to mass produce and fast growth in cattle. Fourthly is veterinarian and feed. Veterinarian care for feedlots is completely different across the U.S. Unfortunately, many cow-calf and stalker operations won't fully appreciate that effect until they try to buy a bag of medication feed and discover it's no longer available over the counter. So that's pretty much just talking about, you know, for modern day ranchers, you know, it's tough to get medicine sometimes, and it is not easy to work your cattle on appropriate and timely manners. You know, sometimes the way you have to. And veterinarians, you know, they're really hounded down on these big ranchers now. You can't just run, you know, whatever you want to. You have to have a organized system for your cattle. And I mean, they've always maintained their cattle, but never like they have now, with the vaccinations and feed and minerals and vitamins, you know, that they have in these feeds nowadays, and that they have to regulate on. And fifthly, my final bullet is the consumers and the realtors' perspective on it. Continued and even greater pressures on antibiotic use growth, Fence and other technologies will keep the heat on traditional beef productions as millennials use their purchasing power and social media presents to mold the world into their visions, and realtors and restaurants respond. Meanwhile, the realtors have dropped and will continue to drop as more cattle come into the market. So all this is, you know, if you're mass producing something, it's not gonna have its value. It's gonna deplete, and so the U.S. has to regulate certain cattle markets, and regulate how long the or how many head will be sold at a time, and it's a very regulated process, I would say. But that completes my speech.